Hello everyone, welcome back to Concrete Mouse Scrap More with Brenda. I'm Brenda and today we're going to do Frankenbatting, the way I do Frankenbatting. Now Frankenbatting is basically sewing smaller pieces of batting together to make a larger piece. And I'm going to show you a very simple way how to do it on a straight stitch machine. And I always get perfect flat results. It's just lovely. So let me just get this and we'll start. Oh no. Oh God. Ah! Okay. I'll come back. I'll meet you at the cutting table. Okay, for this Frankenbatting method, you're just going to need a few things. A bunch of strips. I cut these at 1.5, but anywhere from 1 to 1.5 is good. I use something that almost matches the batting, but you could, use whatever. I also have a couple of white strips in here that are shorter, but it's fine. You need something to, like cotton, like muslin works great for this. Just put it into 1 to 1.5 inch strips, cut a bunch of it up. You'll need a ruler and a rotary cutter, of course, and somewhere I need my Colette's glove. But the batting now is where you're going to have the fun with. Now, just let me get this out of the way, because we'll need this for sewing later. And I'll just grab my Colette's glove. Hang on. So, now, once you finish doing your Frankenbatting, your rotary cutter wheel is dull. So make sure you have a blade to change it with. So what I'm going to do with this, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my batting. It looks at this as a manufactured edge, right? Well, maybe not. Maybe it's not a manufactured edge. But what I want to do is I want to cut it all the same with the piece with the shortest bit on top, right? So this would give me the shortest because this piece is here, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try and line this up the best I can on here, because you need this work with a straight edge. Otherwise, this is a really hard thing to do. So what you want to do is line them up so that kind of works. And put on your Colette's glove, because I don't want to cut myself again. And you press down with your gloved hand. Okay, now this becomes scrap. Now some ladies save this for makeup remover pads or whatever. I don't really do that kind of thing. I know some people use it for coasters or whatever. They keep this. I don't, because I'm already using up a good chunk of my batting. So now that I got this side straight, I want to flip it around, and because I thought this was a manufactured edge, it's not. So I just want to make sure it's rather square-ish, and I want to just line this up like so. So now I have a nice, neat, square edge to work with. Okay. I think some people make dog beds out of their stuff too, right? So now, what I'm going to do with this is, I do not have a manufactured edge on this. Or do I? I might. It's always easier to maneuver this stuff when you're not in a glove. So if it's a manufactured edge, that means the very edge of your batting, right, that you get off the roll, then you can work with it, and short sides. But you want the shortest side up, and this happens to be the shortest side, so that lets you know. So we're just going to get my glove back on. And now I'm going to trim this. If you were making dog beds, these are perfect dog beds, like filling, right? So I would cut them up a little smaller than that. But anyway, so next thing, now we've got all of our batting trimmed. And what I normally do is, because I've got a lot of it, as you can see here, you know, there's lots of it. What I would do is I would sort it by size, so I would be sewing together pieces that were like sizes, right? So I'd be, building out a bigger strip upon strip upon strip, but that we'll do another day. So let's get to the sewing machine. Okay, we're at the sewing machine, so now I have to make a decision whether I'm going to sew all my Frankenbatting with the smooth side up or the rough side up. And what I usually choose is I put the rough side down against the fabric and the smooth side is up. So as I'm putting this out, this strip out, I'm going to be laying it in about 1/2 inch, leaving about 1/2 inch exposed, right? And then I'm just going to start right at the edge. You can do a little back tack if you need to. And you're just going to run, like all of this is on the smooth side, this is the rough side. So I'm just going to run this with a 1/2 inch exposed on this side. I'm going to do the entire length of this strip, and I'll be back to show you what I do next. Okay, I almost forgot to show you how you do this when you're running out of a strip. So all I do is I have a strip there, and I'm just going to take another strip, and I'm just going to lay it on top and overlap it maybe about 1 inch or so, and then put the batting back down and just keep sewing. So I want this opening here on top, because that way it doesn't catch and flip open and create a lump. So we used to do this as kids for my grandma on her treadle, because that was always a big task to do, and she would do a lot of quilting, and we'd have all these little pieces to sew together. So now you're at the end of this. You're just going to trim it across straight and throw the remainder of the strip back into the pile, and you're going to do a little back stitching right there and put a leader ender through. Now I'm going to go back to the top. Now what has happened is this one now, I have to see, okay, this is the smooth side, this is the rough side, right? So I want smooth side and smooth side. I want them showing both up top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this on top as close as I can to close that gap and still be on the fabric, right? Because you want that to be very secure. Now you're going to back stitch just a bit, and you're going to go through here and lay it nice. Now if you've done this right, you can't tell that these two are pieced, right? And you can tell with your hand, just by stroking this, that this is going to lay absolutely flat. And let's get the rest of this down. Here we go. And I'm going to cut off that little piece. Okay. And we're just going to go all the way to the end. And as we come up to a join, right, this is where I joined one. You can see there's one on top and one on the bottom. I just lay it on top, make sure it lays nice and flat. There's no bumps, there's no lumps, there's no nothing. It's just going to go right through, nice and neat. This was always a lot of fun to do, especially on a treadle. But you have to know how to use a treadle. And I mean, too, what ladies used to do before, if they had a sewing machine or didn't have a sewing machine, they would hand stitch them together like this, using the same principle. So it would stay nice and flat. This I always find has a little bit more security than regular, oops, hang on. It's a little more secure than people do a zigzag across there. I find when I have a sewing machine that does a zigzag across, I have a little bump. Here there's nothing. it's absolutely flat when you're feeling it. Like you don't feel where this is being joined at all, right? So, and it's supported from the back and makes it a little stronger, and you're not right at the edge like you would be on a zigzag. And we're coming up to the end because I ran out of batting on the other side. So we're just going to do a quick little back stitch and then get my leader ender, and we're going to cut this. We're going to cut this off and go back to the cutting table. Okay, so we're just going to take this now and just take this and line this up. Put the, a line along where you would join them, like so you've got a line where you know it's perpendicular, and just basically take this and trim it off, and you sew this piece onto another piece, but now you've got something that you can build upon. So what you would do is take this piece of batting, because you know this edge is now straight because you trimmed it earlier, or the other manufactured edge, and you would just keep adding and adding and adding, as far as you can. And then if you had longer pieces or bigger pieces, you start adding them this way, right? So this is what it kind of looks like from the back. And believe it or not, you don't feel this through a quilt. Like this is the rough side. This would go, the backing would be on this side of the quilt batting. Like you don't feel this. And you certainly don't feel this from the front where your quilt top is, because it's absolutely smooth. Now, if you weren't real careful about how you put this together, what you could do is take a pair of scissors, and let's say you have a little overlap. You could just take your scissors and just quickly go through and trim that little excess away. But I mean, with this, now it's well supported. It's not going to rip on you because it's not right at the edge. That's one of the things I find with Frankenbatting that happens. Now I have a few other pieces here, and this was trimmed off of another quilt because I made it actually too long. And you can see I used green thread here. Like for this thread, you can use whatever scrap color thread you want now, right? And just move it out. This has got the white backing. And yeah, it's absolutely smooth. It stays absolutely smooth. So that's what I've got for you today. I have a lot of batting, Frankenbatting to make, and some of these pieces are pretty big, so I'm going to have a lot of fun with this today. And that's it, with just a few strips of muslin cotton or plain cotton, some batting scraps, a ruler, a rotary cutter with a dulling blade, because when I'm done adding all of this together, this is going to be really dull. And don't forget your klutz glove. You can make your own Frankenbatting, and it's a wonderful way of saving money. And if you wanted to make placemats out of this, or smaller things, I have made baby quilts, and they've been washed, or playpen quilts that that go into a playpen where they're washed on a weekly basis. And these sewing lines don't let go, they don't break, so your cotton batting inside's not shifting and busting, right? So, but I do hope you try this. This was a real fun, old school way of doing things. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope it helps you conquer your Mount Scrapmore. I know sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. Like I say, I used to do this monthly or every second month, and I haven't done it in a while, so it's going to be days of Frankenbatting, but it's okay. It'll be nice when it's all done. So I hope you have a wonderful day ahead, and I hope you have lots and lots of fun and have some great times in your sewing room. And come on back, we have some more exciting stuff to show you for next week. Okay, bye, take care. If you have questions about what you saw in this video, or you have ideas for content or something you want to see us do, please put those comments in the description below. But also, while you're there, like, share, and subscribe with your friends. That would really help us out. Okay, I want to thank you and have a great day.